Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the Isofarian Guard update pack brought to me by Sky Kingdom Games. I would like to thank them personally for sending out an early review copy of this so I can show you everything that's in here. Well, okay, not everything. I'm not going to spoil anything, at least try not to, but I'm going to show off a few things to show you what has some of the changes coming with this new update pack and also some of the balancing things that they've done in the game so far. So let's take a look at what is in here. And on top of that, I also got a few other things. I got a neat, cool purple bag for this. And there's also some of these new cards that are kind of shimmery, shinery, super coolly. We're going to take a look at those as well. So if you're excited to see what's in this update pack and what it has to offer, then I need you to meet me at the table. Before we dig into the box itself, I want you to be aware of all the things you're getting in here. Campaign book, city index, enemy index, Fort Istra and save index, player aids, new updated cards, some quest books, and some rule books. Now, there's a lot of things sitting there, and it's because many of the things have been kind of split up now that they've moved into this new update pack. So there was a book called Indexes that had a lot of different things in it. It kind of had the cities, it had some of the quests, it had the save index, it had a whole bunch of stuff all kind of mashed together inside it. Now inside of this update pack, that is one of the things that they were able to alleviate, is we were able to split a lot of that up. Also, it does come with something that's going to tell you how to deal with the update pack when it comes to your game. And I'm going to go over a lot of this with you so that it's not a big surprise when you get it. There's also a new order of operations that you can use during the game, not only for the fighting, but it also has things when it comes to different chips. It's going to have what all the different starting stuff for our characters are, and also in some of the iconography it's going to tell you up here. So this is a really handy reference. I recommend keeping this with you at all times. Now here's the books. These are what I'm talking about. It comes with a rule book. It comes with all the different campaign books, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's 5 different campaign books. They redid all, I'm sorry, they did not redo them. They reissued them. Now here's the cool thing. We have a city index. We have a Fort Istra and save index. Just so when you're going to Fort Istra, all you need is this book. You don't have to go digging through some of the other books. We also have the ones just for the quests. So here are your quest books. Then we have our enemy index. When it comes to the enemies, you just need to go to this book. So I want to quickly take a look at some of these books really quick so you can see what you're going to be getting as you dig into this game. If you're able to take a look at my playthrough or any of the other playthroughs out there, you can take a look at how this all works. First off, here's like chapter 1, and you're going to be going around on some of those nodes on the map. Once you get onto those maps, you might pull a chip that's going to have a 1, 2, or 3 skull, and it will show you what enemies they are. Now before, you had to, there was a part of one of the books that had it, all these different enemies. But now when you pull the chip, all you have to do is take this index, find out what node you're on and what chapter you're on, and boom, you have your enemy. You can set them up and you're ready to go. It makes things become a lot easier to bring to the table. The next book I want to draw our attention to is the City Index. This again is a new book. This book is taking some of the other stuff out of some of the other books and put it all into one book. There are some changes to the city. There's actually some really cool changes to the city that I'm excited to talk about. The first ones we're going to talk about here are the puzzle quests and the prestige. Those are the two things, big things going on in here. So the prestige is if you go out on bounties, not only do you get the rewards from them, but now you're going to gain prestige. This is a new thing in this game, and you're going to have cards that are going to give you extra rewards inside that city because you've helped them with the bounties they have out there, like these little quests. It's kind of like going to the quest board in like an RPG game or something, where and then once you do those quests, you come back and the city likes you even more. So you're going to be able to gain prestige, which is going to give you an advantage in that city, and I'll show you some of that as we go through. Well, for example, this one down here shows that you're going to be able to stay at the inn for less money now. So the inn is giving you a deal since you're one of the heroes of the city. The other one is they're introducing puzzle quests, and I'll show you a glimpse at some of the puzzle stuff in this on one town just so you can see kind of what they're looking at, and they're going to have different rules for each puzzle inside of that you do inside these towns. Now of course you can do these puzzles more than once, or if you lose them, you don't just like lose time or energy or life or anything like that. From what I understand, if you aren't able to complete the puzzle and you can't figure it out, you can come back and try it again, even right after you did it once. So that's kind of cool that you have that ability to kind of keep going. And then I believe there are some rewards that go along with it. On top of that, you still do have the blacksmith and marketplace. Now, of course, those are going to change a little bit, and I'm going to show you. We're going to look at Mir. So there's going to be a little spoiling on Mir. If you haven't played the game and you don't want to know about Mir, you can skip past this, but the books are all there for you to look at and take a gander at. So first, I want to show you the blacksmith, and here's the things I want to talk about. So if you look here, we have our guard tunic. Our guard tunic is going to cost us 4 rough leather and 2 metal fragments. For those that have not played the game, there is crafting in this game, and that's how you get some of the more powerful gear in this game, is you're going to craft it or find it through some of your quests. But say we wanted to craft this guard tunic, it would cost us 4 rough leather and 2 metal fragments. Well, if you don't want to go looking for all that stuff, instead, if you can do a couple bounties and get your prestige up, once it gets to +2, look, your rough leather and metal fragments have halved in the amount that you need in order to make this. So getting the prestige, again, gives you more standing with that city, giving you the ability to be able to gain these items faster. So it's kind of cool to go on those. Those bounties really make a difference. And also when it comes to the weapons and traveling boots, even everything in the blacksmith goes up. Now on top of that, here's a quick little glimpse at the puzzles. I'm just going to kind of cover with my hand because I don't want to spoil too much, but each one is going to have its own rules and stipulations, and also has their own rewards going through it. And each one comes for a different campaign that you can go back to the towns and deal with. The market square is right here. A lot of that hasn't changed. That doesn't adjust with prestige from what I understand, but there is still a marketplace in most cities. Not every city is going to have everything, but most are going to have them. And that's really it for the city book. But there, I mean, it's the big, huge city book has all these different, there's a whole bunch of different things and different people to meet and things to do, bounties to be had. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So that's Mir. That's one of the cities here that you can do. But when you go there, make sure you look at the kind of bounty quests they have, and maybe if your characters you think are powerful enough, you can go out on those bounty quests and take a look. Now if you're interested in seeing in one of those bounty quests in action with the new rules, with all this new updated material, please go check out Steve and Kim over at the Co-op Guild. They did a run through with a lot of the new material, and I'm going to put a link to that video in the description of this video so you can check that out. So once I talk about all this stuff, you can go see it in action over there at the Co-op Guild. So I think that's all I got for the city. I think that's it. I don't see, oh, I forgot about this part. This is where you get the bounties. I forgot to show this off, but it shows you in campaign what particular bounties are available. Also tells you how much it costs to stay at the inn. So these stars on these bounties that you're seeing here, those are going to be how difficult this particular mission is. So you might want to think about it before you go on that mission. Even though you get to the first town, go, oh, I'm going to go on a bounty and get some prestige. You might want to think to make sure your characters are strong enough to be able to do that, because not only are you going to get those rewards, you will get that prestige, which will be super, super cool. All right, that's the city book. Moving into the Fort Istra and save index and stuff, do you new things in this? First off, of course, not all the things are going to be exactly the same. They have this new system called commissions where I believe the way it works is you can send out your stonebound in your city to really gain some of these harvesting things for your crafting abilities, depending on kind of what you have. So you have a first commission stonebound available to 8, so you could send them out to gain some of this stuff. Now, I could be not exactly understanding how this works, and if I'm wrong about it, please let me know in the comments below. But as you go forward, you're going to be able to gain more of those stonebound, be able to go out and gather some things for you. They do have the same type of things you can build in this game, but some of the things that has changed is the training yard is a little bit different. They've added some new things for the characters, and they've taken away some of the stonebound ability cards. But more often than not, most of the stuff is still exactly the same. One thing they did do in this game is every character now has an additional 1 stonebound card that they can get a hold of somehow in the game. Also, they have an additional ability outside of what there was in the original core game. So those are, now I'm not sure if they're all found in the training yard, but I do know that is something that's happened. Also, I do know from speaking with Steve over at the One Stop Co-op Shop, I think he said that one of the white cards here is now completely gone. It's like moved from the game, but some new ones have been added into this game. And the training yard is where you're going to gain some of these by completing some of these missions. Now, like I said, each character has like an ability card in here, but they could be the same ones from the original book. I haven't fully thoroughly looked through to make sure it's exactly right. We do still have some of the stuff that you can get through the blacksmiths that you can find and create some of the blacksmiths. Now, the new thing they have is a traveling blacksmith. These traveling blacksmiths are going to be out in the world somewhere, and you're going to find them through your journeys. When they do, they might join your group and be able to have some of these things for you to be able to buy or create, and craft and things when you get back to your settlement. So it has these different things, which is kind of cool. We have the apothecary shops, and these are going to be, I believe, very similar. Now we also have the courtyard, but one of the new things in the courtyard is now they have these spirit boss challenges. So say you beat chapter 1, you beat the boss in chapter 1, super cool, you beat the boss, happy day. You go into chapter 2, but later you can go to the Fort Index and beat him in a spirit boss challenge, and now he's gonna be much harder. But if you like the way that boss mechanics were, it was kind of cool to fight him, you could go and fight him again, but now since you're more powerful, he'll also be more powerful. It'll be a challenge to fight. So they have that going on now, some new things. And of course, if you defeat them, you're going to be able to gain certain things. For example, if you defeat, let's see, the chapter 1 boss, let's just look at it real quick, because I beat the chapter 1 boss, but I haven't beat him in the spirit boss challenge. You get to reset your stuff, and you get to remove negative chips from your bag. Oh, you obtained a Wind/Stone ability card, and it's a universal ability card that anybody can use. That's another thing coming to this, is you get more universal shards that are not specific for certain adventures or Isofarian guards. They have the ability to be universal, so anybody can use these. And these are all the different courtyard ones. We also have the stash and campaign trackers and all this from I believe the original game, very similar in what was there before. Here is the leveling track of the first group, the first 2 that you're going to be playing with. I'm just glancing at it real quick. I don't think much has changed. But when you move through the other chapters, some of those might have changed, but these are the only 2 I've ever played with, so I haven't really looked at some of the other characters very much because I want to be more surprised as I get to those areas. So that is what you're going to find inside the Fort Istra and Save Index. A few cool changes coming down the line. I think there's some really neat things going on. They've really expanded that whole fort area. Now, looking at the quest books, first off, I have to remember myself, I haven't beat the chapter 1 boss. I have played chapter 1 and gotten through it. Oh no, I think I did beat the chapter 1 boss. I'm on chapter 2, I think is what I am. So the campaign chapter 2, I think, is where I am in the game. But if you want to see some of that, you can check out my playthrough that is found on the channel. I've gone through up until, I think I was working on some of the side quests. You can check out some of that if you're interested. Super fun game. That's why I'm excited for this update back. Also, a new thing coming for the quest book is that everything is now narrated by foreteller. Not just the main story and the main campaign, but also all the side quests and the caravan quests and all the cool things that go along with this are all now narrated by foreteller, which you can check out over on foreteller and pick it up. It's super cool. I'm a huge fan of foreteller. They do a fantastic job of narrating all these amazing games. But I don't think there's anything new in the quest book, except there are some maps at the end that I'm not sure what they're going to be used for. I've noticed that are part of this particular book now. But all the rest of the quests I think are very similar. They maybe reworded some of the what do you call it, treasures and rewards may be a little bit different, just for helping with balance and things of that nature. But I believe a lot of the quests and how long and what you do for them are going to be very similar to what they were when you originally played the game, or when you had started through the core game. So that is the quest book. That's the end of that one. The next book to quickly go through is the rule book. Again, there's a lot of changes here, but some of the stuff I just want to highlight really quick is there's some parts in here. Where is it? A lot of the traveling portion of the game has changed, which is pretty cool. We have these field event decks that I'll show you shortly. I'm going to go through the cards soon, but during the exploration phase, a few things that have changed. One of the big ones is as you're traveling, when you draw one of the chips, if it's something you're not really wanting to do at the time, your characters can spend an energy to put that back in and continue traveling. It's like expending that energy to run from those particular enemies or something of that nature that you didn't want to deal with. That's one thing to do. Now, of course, you can't do that over and over again because you, in theory, only have 2 energy cubes. And once both those energy cubes are used and you pull an enemy chip, you not only have to face that energy, but you go into the first round of that encounter without any energy to be able to draw from the bag for chips to see if you can start doing damage to the enemy or dealing with defense and hopefully blocking some of the incoming damage. So it's kind of a risk reward type thing. Do I think we can stretch ourselves a little bit farther? We're only one space away from the city. Oh, I drew a chip. Let's lose the energy and go into the town. Okay. And then you can get your energy back in the town, of course, by staying at an inn if you want to. That's something you can do. They've also now have blue nodes are going to have their own adventures that you can have with them. And I'll show you those very, very soon. There's a whole new set of deck of cards that are really cool about that. But I think that's about all the new things. The rule book itself is just super good. I recommend reading it through. It's not really that bad. It looks daunting at 74 pages, but it's really not. It's got big text and a lot of really good iconography, some great examples of how everything works, and of course it's got some cool art. Where's that one picture? That was cool over. Some cool art there. I love all this art. I'm a big fan of the artwork, and I love the style of this game. It's really super cool. Let's quickly look at some of those cards now. The first deck of cards they've now introduced is these. These are all the prestige cards. These are the ones for all the different cities. Again, we've kind of looked at Mir, so I'm just going to use that as an example, but you can stay at the Clarion Inn for 10 instead of 15. Then, of course, you say you get the second prestige, like you saw in that book with the 2 prestige, you can reduce the marketplace pricing and reduce crafting requirements. It kind of shows you, again, what it's kind of working on here. And the third one, I'm going to let you figure out all those cool things on your own, but there are 3 for each city going through here. They have Razadon, Rubia, Silene, Stofia. I'm going to pronounce every one of those wrong, but that's okay. These are the prestige cards. They've got some cool artwork on them, of course. They're the straight artwork from inside the book, which is kind of cool. All right, we'll put those aside. Next, we have 160 field events. They are just massive. The core game itself, when originally backed, didn't have that many. I think it had 60, maybe 80. I'm not exactly sure, but it has doubled or over doubled the amount. Now, remember how the game works. As you play through the game, if you draw a chip that is a compass, you're going to place a cube on you used to put it right on top of the deck, but now they have these cool cover cards. So you're going to place it just right on the cover card, and as you can tell, it tells you where exactly you are in the world. I'm on node 78 through 108. That means I'm in this region, and I'm going to put a cube there. When you have 3 of them, then you're going to draw the card from underneath that sleeve or the top cover card, which is pretty cool. They didn't have cover cards before. The cover cards are awesome. I mean, there's so many. There's not only the like forest area. They have a whole water section now. They have forest and they have the plains. So they've got 4 different regions that you're going to be going through, and they've given us more cubes for those particular so that we can cover all the different cards, because I think there were only 3 different ones you could go to in the original game, or from the original crowdfunding game, but now there are more. There's an extra one. There's water, so that's super cool, and we're going to we have these extra cubes for them, but I'm not going to show you any of these. I'm super excited to see what these are. Now, again, I can't guarantee. They might all be new. They might be some returning ones, or they could have used all of these and just added more. I can't give you a guarantee on that, and I don't actually want to know myself. I'm excited to find out as we play through the game. The next deck of cards we have is going to be the new enemies. They have added now 4 new enemies. So as you're going through the enemy book, you're going to notice that there are some that are going to be different. From what I looked at chapter 1, didn't look like there's too much different, but probably moving into chapter 2 and stuff, they're going to be new ones. There's now corrupted bandits, corrupted flackies. There's a lot more of these corrupted characters, disruptors, metal eaters. Now there are a couple that they're just replacing. I believe we need to go into the deck. I think these are new. They didn't have enough of these or something, and then this deck is for the Raider, and I think they wanted to rebalance this, so I think you're able to remove the old deck and put the new deck in there, so it's all set to go. So they do have some cool new enemies that you're going to be fighting throughout the game. Next, all of the different ability and stonebound cards have been redone. Now, some of them might be very similar or exactly the same, and some may not, so it's just best to just get rid of all of them and put the new ones in there. So, but like I said, some of them have remained the same and some have changed. I'm going to give you a quick example of some of what I've noticed just playing through this. So this is kind of the starting stuff that our friend Alec gets. He gets a couple of 3 different potions and a combine, right? So looking at the different difference in the cards. The Crimson Tonic has remained the same, and the Golden Potion has remained the same, but the Elixir has changed. So if we look, so they've rebalanced a lot of these cards to make them all very, very useful. This one right here, first off, one thing I've noticed is that you can tell the difference. Like this is a big green around it, so the other ones were sometimes hard to tell if it was green or red, and if it was good or bad, and things of that nature. They've really helped sharpen those smaller icons to make them pop and got a lot bigger. But this is going to be able to give them to Alex's bag, and if you're empowered, you can draw 3 chips from the bag. But if you flip it over, look at this, it changes. Now, if Alex has the aggro, he's going to gain this, where instead, now the old one used to flip 2 non-active potion cards. Empower gives you +2 to an ally's bag, but now Empower adds a stun to the enemy. So it has changed a little bit. Not only that, its cost has gone down a little bit. So this card has changed. Not only that, the combined, one of the most common cards that he uses, the combine action, has changed a little bit. The very beginning of it has not. It's worth 1. This is the old card, the one I have in a sleeve, which is why glaring all over the place. But if you empower it, the effect of 1 card or 2 potion cards are active. Flip 1 non-active potion card. But then when you flip this, now it says that this thing is going to, it used to say if an other P or S is active, attack an enemy for +2. Or if both are active, attack all enemies for +2. Now it just says if Alex has 1 potion active, attack all enemies for +2 and flip a non-active card, which means you could flip one of these potions, just boom, just like that. It gives, because Alec before was a very helpful fighter, which is fantastic. It's super great that he's able to help out, but I think it gives him a little more versatility to be able to help attack a little bit more than when he originally used to. So this is just the starting cards in theory. I know you kind of have to get, I think, some of these, but this is a very early build. You'd have these particular cards in Alex's groups, but even from the start, a couple of them have been redone and rebalanced. And every character has not only had a rebalance, but also have added new ones as well. And if you know, I talked about before, there are universal ones back here too, these universal stonebound cards. There's a whole bunch of new things going on. Wow, there's so much to dig into in this game. I can hardly wait to take advantage of all the new cool stuff. On top of the purple cubes, they've given us some more red cubes and some yellow cubes. These are for that part of your fort where he can go out and maybe find some materials for you. I think they use these cubes to help to know where you are and what nodes you're getting those resources from. Again, if I remember exactly how that works. And some of the last final things, they do have some new dividers. Of course, we have the ones for the new enemies. We also have stuff for the new things coming out, like the prestige cards, the field events, the ones that were completed, uncompleted, things of that nature. There's also a new spot for the item stuff. They've separated tool items from just the items. And then they have a whole bunch of more cards here. Now, a lot of these are just going to be replacing some of the ones that are in there to bring them back, bring them in line and make them more balanced from what I understand. Also, it's to maybe add more of these in there as well, because you're able to go and get more gold ore. Then really get all this gold. That'd be fantastic. So there's a whole bunch of new cards you're going to be adding in or removing the old ones and placing these in their place. So super cool. Lots of neat things. And the last thing we have are some map chips. These are used for when you're moving around on that map. A lot of them have these little squares. No, actually every one of these does. So it gives you an idea. Some of the chips are usually could maybe potentially cover a couple of the nodes. So this gives you an idea of exactly what node this is facing. You can kind of point it towards the node or place it exactly right on it. So this part is right on the node that you're on. And it has one for each of the characters. Also for the boat, the campfire, the caravan quests. They're all in here. So as you're playing through the game, you'll be able to know kind of exactly which one of these is what it's representing and where it's supposed to be on that map. I think that's about all there is from it. Again, you are going to get this cool thing inside of the update pack that's going to go over everything you need to do to bring your game up to the new standards. And oh my, is it going to be awesome. Now, the interesting thing is they did give you, like I said, all of the books. All the books are rewritten and proofread and brought back up to the where it's supposed to be. So the old books you could recycle. You do not need them. So all this update pack is going to replace a lot of those books, and that's really about it. I hope this helps. Oh, there was one more thing I forgot about. I got two cool things I gotta show you. One of them is I did get a pack of cards, which are super cool. They are, like I said, the neat and shiny cards. These right here, look, they have the, look at that potion kind of going like that. That's pretty awesome. And there's a lot of these for all the different there's some for each of the different characters, I believe. Each have one of these, which is pretty neat. Oh man, I just look at that. It looks like that he's mixing that potion. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I hope that comes through on the video, but it looks really cool. Otherwise, I'm standing here holding this card and going like this. You're not noticing anything, and I'm sounding really weird. And that last thing was they give us another purple bag. So in case one of your bags is damaged somehow, or you just like to use the purple one in place of one of the other 3 gray, black, and blue bags, you could use this. And I don't believe it's a specific bag for a specific part of the game. I think it's just giving you options as to which bags to use for your characters. And now that is it. That's all I got for this update unboxing pack. I hope that helps. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Also, if you're interested in learning a lot more about this game, you could check out the Discord for Sky Kingdom Games. They can answer every question you have out there. Also, if you missed the crowdfunding for Isofarian Guard, I was told that as the game comes out and after it ships, I believe, to everybody, they will have limited supply that you can pick up from their store, Sky Kingdom Games store, but also be really active on their Discord, and you might be able to find a way of getting a hold of one of those games once they start getting out. They might post there when these are going to be available. So if this is a game that excites you, please feel free to check out that Discord, go to their game store, and check out everything that has to do with Sky Kingdom Games. This game is super good. It was one of my favorite games that has ever come out, and the year it came out, it made it easily into my top 3. So this is a big win. I am a huge fan of Isofarian Guard. It's a 2-player adventure game that you can just go through and enjoy and live the story and all the cool little side quests and everything that go along with it. So if you enjoyed the unboxing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more Isofarian Guard videos come out. I will be coming back to this game, and Colin and I are actually discussing it right now if we want to use this as our new live game that we're going to be playing, because I've gotten pretty excited about this, and I really want to get this back to the table, and I've really gotten him excited about it. And it's not like that, it's 2 players, so the 2 of us can work together to go through this game. I think it'd be a ton of fun. Let me know in the comment section if that's something you would like to see. Also, please feel free to leave anything else in the comment section below. I would love to hear from everyone. Do you have the original one? Are you excited for it? Were you part of the reprint for this game? And are you excited to be getting a hold of this game? Make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Now, if you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to check out the Patreon. The link to that is also found in the description of this video. Those that have joined the Patreon are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It does mean the world to me. Those that have joined the Patreon do get some special perks. One of them is that when Colin and I do playthrough videos, we let them, the Patreon supporters, be able to watch those videos usually a day or 2 ahead of time without commercial interruptions. Also, those that are part of the Patreon get a choice into how the games progress. So when it comes to Isofarian Guard, we would ask, like, hey, what type of skills should we be putting on our characters? What stone-bound abilities should we have? And we let the Patreon supporters give us an idea of how to build out our characters, so they have a choice in how the game unfolds. So there you have it. That is the update pack for the Isofarian Guard. I would like to thank again Sky Kingdom Games for giving me an early release copy of this so I could show everybody all the cool things coming for Isofarian Guard through this update pack. Now, if you're excited to see more Isofarian Guard or anything else that Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.